Emotionally unavailable.
Welcome to Emotionally Unavailable, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of emotional availability and intimacy. I'm your host, Melissa Hepner, and I can't tell you how excited I am to have you join me on this journey of self-discovery and connection. Whether you're navigating the complexities of relationships or exploring your own emotional landscape, this podcast is here to inspire, empower, and entertain. So get cozy and let's explore the depths of human emotions together. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Today's guest is good Lord, we're already starting out with errors. Carmen Turner Schott, MSW, LCSW. She's a best-selling author of 12 astrology books and the founder of Deep Soul Divers Astrology. As a therapist, she has worked with trauma survivors for over 25 years, with over 30 years of experience researching astrology, spirituality, metaphysics, healing, and the transformative energies of the 8th and 12th astrological houses. She is a dedicated guide for those seeking deeper self-awareness and healing. Carmen believes that astrology can help us heal, transform, and become more resilient. I will be providing a link to her website as well as her Instagram and the pre-order link to her latest book. You will hear the name of the book in the episode, but I'm having trouble finding the name of this book. Okay, well, just check the show notes. But listen, I didn't cut anything from this episode. So you will hear her say, publishers really want your readers to pre-order books because it gives them a little more leeway when talking about providing the copies. It's a weird thing. I've watched self-publishers for years, and so even they will put a book up for pre-order because it increases the chance of it ending up in bookstores. There's just a lot of benefits to it. Again, when you pre-order from Amazon, it does not come out of your account until the day the book releases, but your book will be on your porch the day it releases. That's the way pre-order works with Amazon. So, be cool. Go pre-order Carmen's book. I'm really excited about it. And, she's good. She's really good at this. So hope you like this episode. I loved it. I loved Carmen, and I think I've talked a lot. Oh yeah, we're at 2 minutes and 18 seconds, which is not my longest intro, but still. So just make sure that you check the show notes and all the things. And love you. Thanks for being here. I have new listeners, I guess, because, well, the downloads have significantly increased. So thank you for that. Keep sharing all the things, and I love you. So I'll talk to you later. Here's me and Carmen.
Emotionally unavailable.
I was like, wait a second. I'm glad I caught that when I did, because I'd have been like, that's so weird that she didn't show up.
My God, that's okay. Yeah, I was just, tech stuff. I mean, I'm always got something going on.
It's nonstop, right?
Yes.
You have a lot of Mercury in you.
Oh, I'm a Mercury ruler, man. I'm a Virgo rising. Mars.
Oh, okay. You're a Virgo rising and a Virgo sun?
And a Virgo Mercury and a Virgo Venus, lady. I'm a Mercury.
Honey.
So Mercury retrograde messes my life up.
I'm holding you. I'm holding you, Carmen. Well, you know what my shit is, but yeah, I got a lot of Mercury too. So then retrogrades will really get me. And before I understood, I cried a lot with tech stuff.
Give me your birth stuff. I don't think you sent me your birth stuff.
I did, but it's okay. I'll give it to you. Are you ready?
Did you? Because I wanted to send you. Did I send you a report?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I may have not have seen them.
Honey, that don't bother me none. Shit.
I want to have your chart for when we talk. So let me pull it up right now. Let me get my program up, and you just tell me, and I'll put it in.
What do you use? Do you care if you tell me that? You don't have to if you don't want to, and I don't have to. I can delete it too.
No, in the old days, I used to do charts by hand. And we'd have to draw them because we didn't have computers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, looking back, I'm like, I don't know how the hell I did that, but that's how we did it.
No, I really don't know either, man.
I mean, it was, we'd have a ferrum, I don't ever say it right, a ferrumis, and we'd look up all of the longitude, latitude. I'd have a ruler.
Oh,
We
cool.
draw the wheel, we draw the houses, we draw the planets. I mean, everything was, it took longer because you couldn't do charts back to back in those days because you didn't have technology. You had to do them by hand.
How long would it take you?
Oh, it'd take at least a day to get everything, make sure you do it right, because it was a lot of math calculations and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Oh
now,
my gosh, I'm so impressed.
no, hey, obviously, that was back in the 90s, man. You know, now it's like computer programs. You put the book, it does all of it for astrologers now. We don't have to, but to get certified as an astrologer, you have to still show that you can do a chart by hand. It's kind of part of the training.
Oh, yeah.
No one does them by hand anymore. I mean, it's
but you got to know how to do it because See, I'm a little baby student of astrology. That's what I am.
Well, I can't wait to look at your chart here. So let's do it. So what's your birth date?
1680.
Okay. Let's put this. What's your first name again?
Malisa.
Melissa. Okay, so say that again. June. What
June
date?
16th, 1980.
Yeah, you and I, we're both ruled by Gemini. So see, Virgo and Gemini's click. We can talk for hours. We may have a hard time. You may have to do a hard stop.
No, I know. Oh my God, Carmen. No, I was literally about to tell you. I can already tell we're going to hit it off. And I do have another one right after this. So I will. I mean, I will probably just very much be like, I love you. I got to go. Okay.
It's okay. And yeah, it's fine. And I got another, I got a copy of the draft book. You're
asking. Oh, yay. I'm so excited about this.
I'm going to send you the e-galley, which is the PDF version of the unedited. I'm going to send it to you to have. And then my publicist, I'll let her know you had me on, and then they'll send you, I just need your address, and they'll mail you a copy of the book when it releases in August. But it's a big one. It has everything you need to know about doing your
excited.
Yeah.
I am so excited. And also, I knew it was releasing in August. So before I forget to tell you this, when it does, I am also happy to help promote the book itself, because your episode will release before August, unless you want me to hold it. But like, I can also do book promotion too for you. I don't mind doing that at all.
If you could put it out before August, that's actually the best, because they want a lot of pre-orders. This is what publishers want. And it's crazy because it's like, they don't even get the damn book. Why are they going to want a pre-order? They want to get the book. And they're like, but they want 800 pre-orders for every author. That's a lot. And that's like,
that is a lot.
People have to want to buy it to see. People don't know about pre-orders. So I hate to say it. My followers.
No, and I've seen authors process that, so I don't mind doing that at all. And in fact, if you want to let them know, or if you have like the press kit that you've been using to promote it, I'm happy to share any of that for you.
Yeah, Jenny, the greatest thing you can do is posting that stuff on, social media.
Yes, Facebook. I was going to put it on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads.
Yeah, tag me. It's on Insta. I think I gave you. It's Carmen Turner Schott, author, because I have another one, and I don't want to delete it because it's connected to my original Facebook, and I don't want to.
No, absolutely, yeah.
I don't even use it, but it's the one where I got 10,000 followers. It's the big.
Perfect. I can't wait. I'm so excited for you.
Yes. And maybe, some of my author friends will see your podcast. They'll want to contact you to get on, I mean, it could get you some folks. I got a lot of experience with emotionally unavailable people. That was my life, man.
I bet you do, Miss Virgo.
I'm like, man. So what time are you born?
2:48 a.m.
2:48 a.m. Let me put my glasses back on. I hate this. I never had to have glasses till like a year or two ago.
Yeah, same.
Like, man, same. I can't read or do nothing without them. I mean, I can see far, but it's like
I can hardly even see far anymore.
Yeah, what time? What place? City?
Moore, Oklahoma.
Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Moore, Oklahoma. So you're a Midwest person like me. I was born in Missouri.
Oh, no way! Yeah, where are you now?
I'm from the Ozarks.
I love the Ozarks.
I lived in Illinois now. I married. married, I kind of ended up in St. Louis for college, and then I married a military Air Force guy in 1999 and moved around for 20 years following him around the Air Force. We lived in Germany, Virginia, Ohio, Illinois 3 times. And now we settled in Illinois near Scott Air Force Base when he retired. And I have been working for the Air Force for 20 years. And I just resigned because of all the stuff going on in March. I walked away. And now I'm like trying to do this full time, and I couldn't work.
Good for you. Good for you.
Couldn't handle the chaos.
I'm with you.
It was toxic. I was already burned out anyway. And
exactly. I mean, we were ready to do our own shit.
Yeah. And I've been a social worker my whole life. And I'm like, I'm burned out. I did my time. Now I want to have joy. I want to do what I like.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I'm with you there, sis.
Oh, lady.
You see all my Mercury too, don't you?
This is why you and I get along too. You're an Aries rising.
Are you? What are you?
I have an Aries
Virgo rising.
I have an Aries stellium.
You do? What do you have in Aries?
My moon, my Jupiter, Chiron, part of fortune. So all of my Aries in the 8th house falls on your first house.
So you're feeling these latest transits too.
Oh yeah. And you've got fire strong. You're Aries rising, Leo moon, and then your sun is in Gemini. I have Venus, and your Venus is in Gemini. This is interesting. Your Mars and Saturn are in Virgo, in the 6th house of Virgo. That gives you that. And Pluto is in the 6th house, right in the Virgo house, which the houses matter more than the sign. I can explain all that because the energies, but you're creative, artistic. You're meant to do self-expression. You're meant to do like podcast, radio, teach. 3rd house sun. 3rd house is Gemini, and you're a Gemini. Talking, networking, socializing, meeting people, doing a podcast, all this stuff. But your moon is in Leo in the 5th house. Do you have children? Do you work with children? Do you like children?
Okay, I have 3.
Okay.
I just left. I did 7 years in education, 3 years as a teacher and 4 years as a school counselor. Yep. I like working with kids. Okay. But it's not really my preference at all.
No, that's what you have done. You've done at home with that because your moon is there. Your emotional nature is Leo is the child. Leo is the entertainer. Leo rules children, fun, happiness, pleasure. Leo rules the 5th house. So your moon is in Leo in its ruling house. Your sun is in Gemini in its ruling house, which is good. But your chart ruler is Mars.
Yeah.
So you attract a lot of crisis situations. And I do too. Yes, where we have to be resilient and the strong one to like step in and domestic violence, or if someone's suicidal, or
when I worked in hospice full time, because that's really my background is hospice social work. When I did that, I remember the pride I took in how good I was at like somebody flipping the fuck out and me being able to and I was really good at de-escalating kids.
Yes. See, you and I have a lot of compatibility in our charts. So I can, talk about the basics of astrology, whatever you want to ask me. And then, talk about the book, and then I can talk about some I want to talk about things in astrology that would make someone attract people that are emotionally unavailable. There's certain signs, certain placements, that are
any air sign, right?
Air signs. It goes, fires, passionate. I can talk about the elements. We'll talk about also, how we're raised, our parents, and it's everything in our life is in our birth chart.
Yes, that's why I love that you're using astrology for healing, because that was a big part of my healing. I've always been into astrology, but the more I became a student of it, the more tools it gave me to understand myself. And honestly, my North Node being in Leo helps me so much, like just knowing it, because I'm baby, go make your stage. This is what you're supposed to do. Make your stage. But like knowing that and having a belief in it and feeling fundamentally supported in those endeavors, that helps me. That helps me so much.
Knowing, and the fact that you know your node, a lot of people don't know the importance of the North Node. They just know their sun and moon, and yeah, the North Node is everything. And you got a lot going on. I'm looking at your transit chart right now too. You've got Mars on your moon right now. Mars is transit in your 5th, right on your moon.
I feel it, sis. I feel it so fucking deep right now. Like I'm holding on for fucking dear life, Carmen. Okay, is what we're doing.
Your temper, and plus you're an Aries rising, and I got to tell you, so I know when it's like when we get triggered, it comes quick.
It is so fast. I hate that. That's actually the thing. If we're going to use like astrology for healing, that's the thing, is that I carried so much shame my entire life around the fact that I was so reactive to everyone around me, everyone, all the time. And now, like, if you were a stranger, you weren't going to get my fire because I would freeze or fawn, but then I'd go take it out on whoever I knew. You know what I mean?
Who you feel comfortable. I'm the same way. Like Aries, it comes out with friends and family, people that know me because I trust them and I can be vulnerable to be honest with them and show that side. But I used to repress my Aries side.
Yeah.
It was like Virgo, so I would like, it was wrong to be angry. No.
Yes.
Pissed off. Now I'm like, I'm Aries, man. I'm like, forget this.
Do you think it's our Virgo that makes us want, like, and I think you probably had this desire too, to desire deeply to be a perpetually unbothered person?
Yeah. Like,
I think it's the Virgo in me that made me want that. And then I was like, wait a second, I want both. I want my fire and I want to know how to temper the fire. I don't want to extinguish it. I just want to be in control of it.
See, your Mars is conjunct your Saturn. Saturn is our karma. It's our past lives. So that Mars battle, in past lives, it's like you felt like you had to defend yourself. You were always having to survive. And so that's the karma. You were in survival mode. It was a past life pattern that you brought into this life.
Oh,
that's why
I never even paid attention that they were conjunct. Honestly,
they are. That shows me that there's karma with anything Aries, anything with being independent, anything with speaking up for yourself, anything with Aries energy, anger, acting, taking action, being on impulse, reacting. Yeah, because there's karma there. And then you're learning to balance that, your fire and your, and I can let me look here.
I'm getting so much better at it too. Like every day I'm just getting more and like just better.
Well, you got a good balance in your chart, but you're like me. You and I both lack the water element.
Yes.
So people like us, which I need to take my own advice because I know I need to do it, but we need to be near water more. We need to soak in water.
I've been doing it more. I've been going to natural bodies of water as much as I can. And then me in the shower, we are one, babe. We are one. I get my most spiritual downloads in the shower too.
Yes.
And I just feel the best. I get in the shower just like a releasing,
Yes, I love it. But I can talk about,
well, let's start with the book. Because I want to know why you wrote it and what you're hoping to accomplish with it.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to talk about how I got into astrology? Because it's a pretty
whatever you want, man. Okay, I don't care, honestly.
Because it kind of has to do with, having unhealthy relationships too.
Absolutely.
An emotionally unavailable partners and heartache, and learning about how, I always believed in a soulmate, and I realized that we have to be our own soulmate,
Yeah. Oh, that's so true.
It was painful, but I finally.
It is painful, damn it.
Nobody's ever going to be perfect and fulfill us the way we need to be loved. But I was like always thinking, and I would see the good in everyone, and then I would draw people though that were emotionally, they couldn't show love to me.
Yeah. And what's crazy about me is I would have said the opposite. I would have said, I don't see the best in everyone, because I was real selective over who I would make friends with. But boy, when it came to men, all that projection of my own qualities where I just think they're a better person than they are. They are not. They are not.
Yeah. That's Aries. That's our Mars stuff. A Mars. Yeah. Because, I don't know. I played sports. I was a tomboy. I was competitive. And then, we attract certain kinds of people, and people want to be in competition with us. Yeah. And so I didn't get along. I was the same way. I either really I really was drawn to someone.
Yes.
It was usually in like a male, and female friends. I had maybe a handful, because I didn't have a lot of female friends, because they were always like gossipy or fake, and I wasn't into that. I was into like realness, Aries. We just want to get the truth out there. Like we're not into just, if you don't like me, fine. Just don't hang with me. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. And if you don't like me, don't try to hurt me, because I had a lot of that. I had to learn. So that made me a little more cautious of people. But I love to talk. I love to meet new people. That's our Mercury.
I love it. And that's why, like, even if I didn't feel like this podcast was part of my destiny, it makes me so happy because I get to talk. And I get to meet new people.
You're meant to communicate, and if you have a partner, you have to have a mental connection. You have to have a similar interest in someone that can communicate with you and talk with you on a mental level. Mm-hmm. You need that. And someone that lets you have your freedom, because you don't want to feel controlled.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You need someone that that brings peace to you, actually, too, peacefulness, because you got Libra on the marriage house. It's opposite Aries. They're the peacemaker, calm, stable.
Yeah, you know what's funny? My husband's a Libra rising.
Oh, that's good for you, because you guys are flipped.
He's an Aquarius sun.
That's good for you, because you're South Node Aquarian. You've been an Aquarian. You understand him. Yeah, that's cool.
He's a Gemini moon.
Your sun moon flip. That's the best match for a partnership.
Yeah.
You got lucky there, because sun moon flip people, I see them married 50, 60 years. Like they're the people that don't divorce. When you look at charts, it's their sun moon flip.
Really?
Yes. My parents are sun moon flip. They've been married 50 years. My grandparents are sun moon flip. It's very common. My daughter, she keeps attracting these people. They're sun moon flip.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because it took a really long time to realize we're exactly alike, but it just looks very different. Yeah. It took a long time for me to see, like, I do that too. Whoops. And I was very judgmental of him, because we are on the outside, we are very different people, but on the inside, we could not be more alike. Honestly,
there's a it's a good compatibility. You've got enough in common, and then you have different interests. It's good. It's kind of like I've been married 26 years, and it was hard because he's opposite of me, but then now I learned my lessons. I'm like, he's the perfect person that I needed, because he supported me, and people change too. It's like, it was
for sure.
It was meant to be in karma, and I knew it. And but I've been I got bit by a damn tick and got Lyme disease.
Joking.
No, I've been sick for 2 weeks. I knew
such a fear of mine.
Oh my God, it was so little. It was like a teeny tiny. It didn't even look like a tick. It was
the little ones carry Lyme too.
Those are the worst. It's the littlest ones. They're the deer ticks. They're the little bit
sprayed.
I know. I literally just went and got a picture near my parents' backyard and came back to Illinois and had nothing. I never noticed anything till the Monday after. I looked on my leg, because my pants went up, and there was a little black thing. I thought, "Ooh, did my dog scratch me?" No, I take a picture. It was head legs. It was so little. I had to zoom in to even tell it was a tick. I got it. It wasn't buried, but it had bit me. So I had a little hole. I was for a couple days. It didn't look bad. It didn't look like a bullseye at first. Then I couldn't bend my hands, my thumbs. I was having this shooting pain. I couldn't text. I'm like I was 90. Like my hands are strong. I'm always on the computer. Yeah. I'm like something's wrong. I'm like, oh shit. I think this tick had Lyme. And my husband's like, but it doesn't even look like a bullseye. It doesn't though all the time. And I'm one that everything's opposite on me. Health. Mm. So I knew it got red, purple, and it looked worse and worse after a week. I ended up going to the doctor, and I'm like, I think I know it's Lyme. I'm hurting. I have joint pain. I feel sick. I'm tired. I never take naps ever. and I was laying down wanting to sleep, and that's not like me. I'm not a napper. I'm always high energy. So it zapped my energy, and I have Lyme disease. So I'm a 30-day dose of antibiotics. I take it at 10
I'm
and 10.
so glad they have medicine for that.
I mean, I just hope it really gets rid of it, though, because
I hope so too.
But
you're already feeling better, right?
I am, and it turned into a bullseye. I got pictures of the past 3 weeks of what it's done. The bite. It had a little white hole in the center, and then the red like a book. It looked like that didn't happen till a couple weeks,
crazy.
and it didn't happen till I was on the antibiotic that you could even tell it was a bullseye.
Wow.
Because my dad's like, oh, that's definitely Lyme. But at first he's like, well, I don't know. It doesn't look like a bullseye. I'm like, yeah, but it is. I knew it was because joint pain. That's a key red flag. Yep. If you
I didn't know that. I'm glad to know that.
If you ever start hurting real bad and you never had before, and you got bit by something, you may not even find a tick. Go get tested, because I just saw a story, a kid in Ohio didn't know he had got bit by a tick. He had a little bite. They didn't see a tick, didn't find a tick. Wow. And now he can't do anything. He has brain disorder, everything from Lyme.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
If it goes on too long,
if
they don't catch it in time. Yeah. And a lot of people are adults that think they had it as a kid, and they have all these health issues. And they can't really, no one takes them seriously. There's a whole website about it. I'm like, what the? At least I found the tick. Thank God I knew it was a tick.
Yes, I'm glad.
Yeah, because no one would have believed me that it
exactly. They'd be like, you're crazy. It's in your hand.
Yeah, it's just
take some anxiety medicine.
Yeah, mosquito bite, whatever.
Exactly.
So is the show 30 minutes or what is it like? Is it an hour?
It's usually an hour.
Okay.
So how did you get into astrology? Because you've been doing it for a long time.
Well, it all started. It started when I got I was 16, and I had two things happen. I woke up one night, and there was let me rewind. I had a friend that was accidentally shot and killed.
Oh my gosh. How old?
16. No, she was 15. I was 16.
Oh my gosh.
But she had just stayed the night at my house, and I had seen her at the ballpark. It was really weird. And I was always kind of different. Like, I would dream things, I would feel things. And so I always was kind of interested in things, but I didn't know what astrology was at that time. I didn't know. And what happened was, some boys had a gun and had been passing it around, town, and had thought they took the bullets out of it. It was like a bunch of boys in the neighborhood, in these, in the high school, whatever. And one night my friend was in the passenger seat, and there was a girl driving, and that girl's boyfriend and his friend got in the back seat, and they didn't know they had a gun. And
awful.
They were doing something and accidentally went off, and it went through the seat, and it killed my friend. And that was the first person I ever knew that died, and it messed me up.
Yeah,
so
I bet.
That happened, and that was kind of my 8th house Aries in my chart. When I finally started learning astrology, I realized I was meant to lose someone at a young age. That was very common for that placement. And next thing you know, that same year, I was playing basketball. I came home one night after a game. It was my senior year in high school, 1993. And I always had to have my bed facing the door, and I always had to have a nightlight on because I was afraid of the dark, because I would feel, I dream.
I'm still like that. I have to have the bathroom light on in my room because I feel too much if there's not light.
Yeah, me too. And my parents like, it's just your imagination. Go back to bed. Like, I'd wake them up. I used to sleepwalk, all this stuff. But anyway, I was always kind of different. But this night I went to bed. I woke up in the night, and I looked to my doorway, and there was a glowing ball of light in my doorway, like translucent water yellow, floating there. And I was scared to death because, I'm 16.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this?
How do I explain this?
So I just laid there, and it's like it had me frozen. I tried to yell. I had no voice. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. All I could do, the only thing I could do is watch it, and I had control of my mind. I could think. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move, but I could think. And I kept thinking, please don't have it come in my room. I kept praying, God, please don't have it come in my room, because I was scared. And now I hit myself. God, I should have went over to the damn thing, but I couldn't move anyway. I was,
you couldn't,
but I watched it, and it'd go down the hall, it'd come right back, but it never came inside my room, because I kept saying I don't want it to.
Yeah.
And it would go in the bathroom and come right back out. And after hours, I swear to God, it had to be hours laying there just watching it. I finally tried, Mom, and finally I had a voice, and I yelled, Mom, look in my doorway, and she heard me. Do you see it? Because our house was small, and my mom, my dad and brother were on a fishing trip, so my mom, they weren't there.
Oh God, your mom's like, don't be saying that shit to me.
I know, it's just my mom. So my mom was, a little bit of a skeptic anyway, but she saw it, and no one ever believed me. Yes, and I was so happy because no one ever believed me about stuff, and she saw it, and I go, do you see it? She said, yes. I'm like, what is it? I don't know. And she was like, she said,
my gosh,
someone's shining a flashlight in. I'm like, Mom, no, it's huge. It has form. It's moving. Then she said, maybe it's a lightning bug. I'm like, no. It was like the
way we rationalize things.
Yeah. And she's like, just go back to sleep. I'm like, what the? So she didn't get up. I didn't get up. I laid there until I passed out. She just went back to sleep. And the next morning, she said, that was not a lightning bug. I don't know what that was. And she was like freaked out.
How did she go back to sleep? She's like, well, it was middle of the night, honey.
I don't know. And then, but she was creeped out the next morning. And so she went to work and told them about what happened. And that's when I learned about a lady was in this group called Eckankar, and they study spiritual things like meditation, angels. I never heard of it. It's called Eckankar. It was something kind of like the School of Metaphysics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she said, well, it was an angel or a spirit. And I'm like, and then I thought at the time, though, I never thought that it was maybe my friend.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. At that time, I did not even connect this till probably 5 years ago, that was maybe her.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think it could be my friend.
Yeah.
Visiting me. I don't know, but I do think it was either her or an angel or a spirit or something. And so after that, I got obsessed with angels, orbs, the pyramids. And then I went in this little spiritual bookstore looking for books in St. Louis, Missouri.
Were your parents okay with this? I'm just wondering, because here I wasn't allowed to do any of that. So,
well, see, that's the thing. I was raised Southern Baptist.
So we all were, honey.
Oh yeah, in the Ozarks, the Midwest, and in the United States. And my parents never really took us to church. Now my dad, his side was all very Baptist. My mother was more open-minded, I think, about things, but I would always go to church with my friends. I like going to church, and I would go to Baptist church is where I would go. But that's a whole nother story about baptism stuff. But yeah, I would go to Lutheran church with one of my friends, different churches, but I never went with my family. Like my family didn't ever we weren't like, I didn't grow up where you had to go, but I did grow up with my dad having very pretty strict, things about it. So yeah, they didn't really understand why I was into these things, but they never told me I couldn't do it or anything.
Okay. Because I wasn't even allowed to read my horoscope. So.
Oh wow. So my parents, I don't know if they really even knew that I bought books. I did my thing. So once I graduated and I was in college, I really, that summer I got books about Virgo and astrology, and I started like, whoa. And I started learning how to do my own chart by hand, because in those days there were no computer programs that could calculate everything like in a split second like we have today. So you would have to have a ruler, and I had to learn how to look up the different planets, the longitude, latitude. You would draw the aspects. I had to learn the symbols of all the planets, the symbols of all the signs to be able to draw them on a wheel. So I taught myself how to do that. And I taught myself astrology. I never took a class. Back then there wasn't a lot of books about some of the planets that I had in my chart and things. And I started, just researching and learning as we went. And then I went ahead and became obsessed with it. So when I went to undergrad, I was a psychology major and I wanted to be a social worker or a counselor. So I started just meeting people and doing charts for free, just to practice. And it was so powerful. People would cry, how did you know that? I'm like, it's your chart. And I just started realizing, like, this is a powerful tool of self-awareness. And this is a healing tool. Like, knowing your chart is like going to 8 in-depth, powerful energy or therapy sessions, and actually, in one session, like in 1 hour, you can
a lot. Yeah.
You get such a deep, it's a sacred tool. It really is. And that's why it should be used with care. There's a lot of pop culture. Everyone's into astrology now.
Yeah.
TikTok, this. You got to be careful, because when you give someone your birth information, that's your soul. You're giving them the map of your soul, and they need to have the right intention. So, hopefully they're trained, they've studied, they know what they're doing. Because you don't want to, there's people out there that it's ethics, make sure you don't scare people about certain things in their chart,
Right.
And come to me and say that people have done that to them. And I don't. So I focus on what are your strengths?
Yeah.
Where do you need to heal? What are some things that you've been through that might've been hard, and why? And look at your soul mission, your destiny, your past lifetimes, your relationships, your career, your hobbies, what brings you happiness and joy. So I use astrology to help people heal. My first book I got published was called Sun Signs, Houses, and Healing. Transform your life through astrology and gain resilience. So that is just knowing that each sun sign has their strengths, and you can tap into them to heal and what brings you happiness. And in that book, I talk a lot about that. And then I started writing books. I started doing charts back then, and then I made a business. I did it part-time, and then I was a social worker in a normal job. I always had my side spiritual job, and then my normal, practical social work job.
That's great that you had a passion so young.
Yeah.
Like because I always thought that the pursuit of becoming a therapist or whatever I chose to do with social work was the passion. And now, I mean, yes, it's part of it, but really me feeding my spirit is the passion now,
Yeah. It was my chart for sure. Cause I think I got the 12th house sun and Venus, and I got a lot of 8th house. And so that's really why I was so different from a young age. And then that's when I realized, okay, all these people I'm meeting that have the sun in the 12th house are weird like me. They believe in angels. They've had dreams that happen. They've had weird experiences. They've seen angels. They've had near-death experience. So I realized it's the 12th and 8th houses that give us spiritual gifts like psychic abilities and intuition. It enhances them. And having certain placements. So I started getting obsessed with the 12th and 8th houses, and I've wrote books about those too. And a lot of research. Cool. Yeah. And those are the houses of deep healing. Yeah. And a lot of people with planets in the 12th and 8th have some type of trauma, some type of loss that they're meant to heal. And then they become wounded healers. They become someone that can help others that have been through a similar thing,
Yeah.
So I wrote a lot of books about my own experiences, they're all out there on Amazon, Books and Noble, but I have 11 books.
That's cool.
Yeah, this newest one is my 11th book. It's Your Astrological Energy.
I love it.
And the reason, and I just wanted to call, because I wanted it, about harnessing. It's about harnessing your energy and your traits, your talents, but it's also about how you can harness all of the signs' energies. Because in our birth chart, we all have a sign on each of the houses. And I always explain this, to listeners or people watching don't know astrology or it's confusing to them. A very basic way to explain it is this: on the moment, time, place, and date of your birth, when you're standing on Earth, when you look up at the sky, the starry sky, there are 12 constellations, star constellations. We call them the 12 signs. Okay. It's astronomy 101. So we have the 12 signs. It's been around since ancient times. Tropical astrology, what we call it. It's even in the book of Genesis. It's in ancient cultures. So those 12 signs are in the sky. We know they exist. There's 10 major planets that astrologers use. There's things called asteroids. We have asteroids. Some astrologers even analyze asteroids, but
I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm not going to get deep into that, but I do use Chiron, which is
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's a healer. It's the wounded healer. So you always want to look at where Chiron is, even though it's not a planet, it is an asteroid that's important in healing. There's all kinds of books about it, but the main 10 planets, and they are going to be in a certain star constellation in a certain area of the sky based on your moment, time, place of birth. That's why the time of birth is important, because we take a picture of the sky at that moment, time, place of birth, and we break it into 12 sections like a pie, and we put it on a piece of paper, and it's a wheel, and it has 12 houses, and that's because there's 12 signs, there's 12 areas of the sky, and then those planets are in a certain sign and house area of the sky when you're born. That's your birth chart. It never changes. And so even twins can have completely different emotional natures, because the moon moves through each of the 12 signs every 2 to 3 days. So if twins are born within an hour or two, that moon sign could shift.
Yeah.
If it's that a certain time of year or on the cusp, it can shift in, to another sign. And so twins, that's why some twins can have an identical chart. It's going to be pretty close, similar charts, except there will be slight differences because the time can change things. Then you have twins that have very similar chart because they're born like within minutes.
Right.
Then, but a lot of twins.
But like, even still, if you take degree theory at all into account, there are some that they move to where the degree would be different. And that explain. I've never thought about that, about how twins can be born and behave so differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting how it works. And then and in the chart, it's just a map of the soul is what I call it. It's your energy imprint. And the reason it's accurate is because it's energy. Everything's energy.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you believe, in energy work, and there's even, body testing, like your body will react, your body holds trauma. We know that the body keeps score. Everything that happens to us isn't we hold in our body, but our past lives and all those experiences we've had, our soul chose to come in and take its first breath at a certain moment, time, place of birth. Like we knew what chart and what lessons we needed to learn. And that's why we chose to be born at a certain time and place. People ask me, well, what about babies that are born early? My daughter was born by C-section a whole month early, and she was supposed to be a Libra. And I knew she wasn't going to be a Libra. I'm like, no, my chick's going to be a Virgo, just like me and her dad. So my husband and I are born the same day.
Oh my gosh.
2 Virgos, but he's 5 years older than me. And that's why I went on a blind date with him, because I always dated Aries and they always kind of broke my heart.
Yeah.
So like, no more Aries. I'm done.
Yes.
They just couldn't commit.
You have to take such special care with a Virgo. You really do.
I know. I had a real magnetic connection with them, but and as friends, co-workers, oh my God, we click. And we can get stuff done. Believe me.
Yes, I bet you could.
We get a lot of work done. So I always love them at work. I have a lot of Aries friends that are, women friends. And
were you little miss like line it all out, and then the Aries like just did what you told them to do?
I would boss around a little bit. Like we both would just click.
It's such a good combination, because I'm a give me explicit instructions kind of gal, and I don't map things out well, but tell me what to do and I'll do it. Yeah. I love a Virgo for that shit. I love a Virgo. I have a very good Virgo friend. I've only just had Virgos come into my life in the last couple of years. Nice. So it's funny to me, but I have a very good Virgo girlfriend, and man, she can outline anything. She's so good at planning, and I'm like, just tell me what to do to execute the plan, please, and I'll do it.
And that makes sense, because you've got Saturn and Mars in Virgo. So Saturn, you're going to attract Virgos for learning. The karma, it's meant to be like a destined kind of fated thing that you might have relationships with Virgo energy people.
Yeah.
And cool. Yeah. I just, I realized, my daughter, I knew she wasn't going to be a Libra, She was ended up being August 25th, the day before us. Missed it by 1 hour. Would have been, or 2 hours, would have been a same day. We all would have had the same birthday.
Hilarious.
And the funny thing is, this is something that came up this week. My daughter is always drawn to Libras. And she was meant to be, her birth.
Yeah, right.
By the doctors, they're like, oh, she's going to be born in into September, 1st of October. Well, no, she ended up being a Virgo, but all her best friends and people she really likes are Libra. She goes, Mom, why am I always drawing Libra? She's always told me this. And I didn't even realize it till recently. That chick was really going to be a Libra, but she changed her mind. Something happened, because when you're born, people ask me, well, you're meant to be born early if you're born early. If you're, then people are like, well, what if I schedule my C-section? Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, it's okay, because it's meant to be. That soul has chosen to come in and
I was born early too.
Yeah, it means that something may have changed, or it was just the way it was going to be. You were going to pick your parents no matter what. We pick our parents. So I had a girl that people asked me, when's the best time to have my C-section? What day? What
You're
time?
Like, honey, that soul's coming whether you pick it or not.
I know, right? And I remember during COVID, there was a neighbor that was going to have to schedule the C-section, and she ended up getting COVID and on the day that she's supposed to have the C-section, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do the C-section because the mother had COVID, and so she had to make a new date. And
gosh,
yeah, things happen. And I'm like, listen, that soul chose you before. It don't matter if you change the date of the C-section.
It'll be okay.
They'll have a little bit of a different chart, but not that big a deal. Not that different within a day or so.
Right.
So it's pretty funny. And but no, astrology is energy. And what I started realizing is my whole life I would feel people and I would just know them. And when I meet people, I often would be able to guess their sign. And I could feel it. It was their behavior, their look, it was how they talked, it was their energy about them.
Yes.
I would feel if they were fire, air, earth, or water strong. You can feel the fire element, the 4 elements in nature, the 4 elements in astrology. Fire are passionate, signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are the fire signs. So, they have a very warm, friendly, go-getting, active personality, bold, courageous. They speak up. You can kind of feel the fire. And then earth, you are grounded. You can feel there's like maybe a little rigid, a little bit shy, a little bit cautious. And then water you can feel the sensitivity, the kindness, the intuition, or just their watery feel. And then air, I always know air because when I can't pick someone's rising or their sun, like they got air, because air, it's there, but how do you grasp it?
I'm always the same way with air. I'm like, This is air. I had a guy on the other day who was talking about being a soft-hearted male with I don't remember how he categorized his wife, but I throughout the conversation I was like, this guy is a Libra. Like, I just was like, this guy is a Libra, and I wonder if he had an Aries wife. And so, then I was like, well, I don't know. He kind of gives Aquarius too. So finally at the end, I said, I'm so sorry, but I have a theory that your air sign, your wife was maybe fire. And he was like, Libra, Taurus. And I said, oh, even worse, because that is not a good combination.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's crazy because we click with our compatible elements, but a lot of people attract their missing element, the element they lack, and that's challenging, because you're like, oh, I want to be like that, or oh, that's different, like opposites attract kind of thing. But then it's a lot of more, I'm gonna say, it's a lot more difficulties. It's not as easy to have a relationship when they're really strong in something that you lack, because we all have to kind of balance our own energies, but opposites attract. I mean, I've seen all fire people have no air marry all air people that have no fire, and guess what? They're having problems. They end up divorced.
I can't even imagine that.
So astrology can show you what your best compatibility matches are, and traditionally, and there's so much that goes into it. I mean, it's a lot, but the basics, 101, I mean, it's very basic, is fire and air signs go together. And that's because air helps fire grow. Okay. So fire and fire go together, air and air go together, and then fire and air can go together, but it depends on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Then earth and water, they go together, and then earth and earth, water and water. You put earth with fire, it's going to be a little harder. Yeah. Fire can overrun the earth, take it over, boss it, control, right?
Yes.
Just like nature. What does water do to a fire sign? It puts its like enthusiasm out, dampens it, So it's like some of the basic energy. You can say, oh, okay, that's why that person makes me feel that way. But we have free will and choice. Like once we know the energies, it's not like a death sentence. You can work hard to make a relationship work, even though there might be some things, but there are some certain signs that are not going to be compatible. And I learned that, I always attracted Aries, but they were very self-focused.
Yeah.
And then the commitment thing, because I have so much earth and I'm a Virgo. I have an Aries moon though. So I was drawn to the air because it is a little compatible with me. I'm compatible with them. But when it comes to having so much Virgo in my Venus, my love planet is in an earth sign.
Yeah.
I need commitment. I need someone I know I can rely on that is only with me, because I don't, but they they want to date, they want to, be free.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that wasn't the best match for me to marry.
Yeah.
So two Virgos together can have its own problems, but we're a lot alike. We both like our alone time. We both are picky about certain things.
Yeah.
We're organized. So, my husband and I been married 26 years, but it was a lot of work, because we have different moon signs. He's a water moon. I'm a fire moon.
Oof.
So he feels that I'm bossy. He does. He says, you're always trying. I said, I'm just trying to help though. And that's kind of, I'm just, and I tell my daughter the same thing, because she's an earth moon. She's an earth moon. He's a water moon, and I'm a fire moon. My daughter's a Capricorn moon.
Oh gosh, I have friends that are Cap moons. Yeah.
And I drive my daughter crazy. She's 20 years old. She's like, Mom, you talk too loud. Mom, you're too friendly. Mom, calm down. She's like, because she wants peace. She wants, stability.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like intense. I'm intense.
Me too. Me too.
That's why they love us. That's why they like us, because we're fun.
Well, you know what's funny? You said I'm lacking water in my chart, and I have a Scorpio sun child and a Pisces sun child. I have another child too, but I have two water sign babies.
Yeah, that makes sense. And we often, also in the birth chart, we often attract our children. There's always at least one of our children that have the flip nodes of us. The nodes of the moon are the soul mission this lifetime. And I started noticing this years ago, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like I do someone's chart. I'm like, hey, you want me to look at the children? Yeah, they give me the kids' charts, the spouse's chart. And you'll see, oh, yep, you and the one child that you struggle with.
Ooh, now you're making me wonder which of mine it is. I gotta look, because I've got one I struggle with, baby. Don't you worry, I sure the hell do.
You may
now
have
I gotta see if what his nodes are, because that's not one I've looked at for him.
He may be a South Node Leo, North Node Aquarius, flip of you, opposite of you, because that you're teaching him lessons and he's teaching you lessons. And that's how my daughter and I are. I'm a South Node Taurus. She's a North Node Taurus. I'm a North Node Scorpio. She's a South Node Scorpio. So she's already been a Scorpio, and I'm learning to be one. See what I mean?
Not him. I'm surprised, but it's not him.
But there could be something else in there.
There's lots.
I'd have to see that.
He's a Libra moon. And okay, so he's a Leo rising. I'm a Leo moon, and my mom was a Leo sun. And I always feel like there's a tie there. But you know what's hilarious? My oldest and my youngest have the same big three, but not in the same order. So my oldest is a Scorpio sun, Gemini rising, Virgo moon. My youngest is a Gemini sun, Virgo rising, Scorpio moon.
So the one with the Virgo moon, is that the one? Is that the one you struggle with?
No, my middle one, my Pisces.
Okay.
Well, my oldest one, I mean, I guess we have our own struggles just because, you know, we're different. But no, his North Node's in Gemini. The oldest. Let me look at the baby.
Well, that makes sense. Your son is in Gemini.
Yeah.
You possess the traits that he is not comfortable with, because he's learning to be more Gemini. See, he's not used to the Gemini. He's used to the Sagittarius. He's a South Node Sag. So your identity as his mother, it triggers him because his soul's he has to learn to be a Gemini. That's his soul mission.
Yeah.
That could also be the learning with you and him.
He is uncomfortable with his Gemini side for sure. Like you can just tell, like, you know, like he really, his mouth will let you know pretty quick he's a water sign, but just from how sharp his tongue is. But he really leans, like his Virgo moon is very prominent if you know him emotionally. You know what I mean? But I just thought that was so funny that they had the same big three, but not the exact same. You know what I mean? But I was like, wow, my kids really did just they were meant to be mine, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun because, you know, in the book, it's open for pre-order now. It's kind of a thing that, you know, you don't get it right away. It comes out in August, but we love it if you pre-order. It's an author thing.
And where are you available for pre-order?
Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
I'm gonna get on there and do that right now. Show it to me again.
Yeah, your astrological
energy.
Yep. It's out for pre-order, and that means as soon as August comes, it'll be delivered right to your door. But
yeah, and that's the thing about pre-orders, audience, is that when you do that, they will actually get it to like you. It will be delivered on the day that it releases.
Yes, and it helps authors. You know, publishers want pre-orders. I'm not a publisher. I don't know, but
I get it.
And so in this book, I wanted the cool thing about this book is, in my other books, like the Sun Signs book, you look up your own sign, and then you look up the signs of others to see how they heal, how they transform, how they become more resilient, right?
Right.
And you learn about them, but it's your chapter. You know, you read your chapter, and I have everything in there, and then you read, you know, your spouse's chapter. This book's different. I wanted people to be able to go to any of the 12 signs chapters and learn to harness what that energy is about, because like we talked about, all those 12 signs are going to fall somewhere in your birth chart, in your wheel.
Right.
So even if you don't have planets there, okay, like for you, you're an Aries rising. You would go to the Aries chapter in this book and be able to look up Aries rising and what that means. And then you'd be able to look up all of your planets in the sign. And so you'll be using every chapter of this book to look up your placements. Okay. Because I have the planet in the house, the planet in each sign, the transits of the planets.
And do you have in there how people can get their birth chart?
I almost think I do. I always try to put that in the intro. Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, I talk about the basics. I usually tell them astro.com. I know in my Sun Signs.
Okay, that's what I use too.
Yeah. I don't know if I did that in this one because it's more in-depth book, but in my Sun Signs book, yes. So yeah, if you want to calculate a free birth chart, you just can go to astro.com and it'll do it. And but you need to know your month, day, and year, your exact time and place.
Go look at your birth certificate. Quit guessing on the time, people.
The time changes everything. And this is something, if you don't know your time, because I have a lot of people that come to me that are adopted or that their parents are passed and they don't have a birth certificate, or it doesn't have it on the birth certificate. Some states didn't put it on the
That's
dang
crazy.
I have so many people that don't know their time.
I didn't know that.
I'm like, so what we do is we call it chart rectification. And it takes a little bit of time, but if I can narrow down what someone's rising sign is, because the rising sign changes every 2 hours. The rising is our mask. It's how we physically look. It's how we relate to stress. When you first meet someone, you pick up on the energy of their rising sign. So people misjudge you based on your rising sign, because if your sun sign and rising are not the same and your moon sign's different, they're going to, oh, this is how they are. And then when they get to know you, they'll be like, oh, you're really different than I
that has happened to me my whole life, where people always said, like, you are not how I thought you were going to be.
No, because your Aries rising is like the warrior. They're like confident. There's an intensity about you. Like I will fight you if you look at me wrong kind of vibe, like don't mess with me.
And I've never been a fighter, but I definitely give that energy.
But that's the energy. Like it's masculine. It's Mars.
Yes.
It's like I'm ready. I'm a doer. I'm an action. I'm impulsive. I'm passionate. I'm emotional. I'm intense. And then when they get to know you, you're a Gemini. You're friendly.
And a people pleaser.
Yeah, and you're social. And then your Leo moon is you're funny and you're generous and you're flamboyant. You want to entertain, make people laugh. You're childlike. You're fun. So but they have to get to know you and you trust them before people show their sun or moon to people. Take some time, because people see your rising sign first.
I always actually felt so unseen because they picked up on that fire energy, but they didn't see the Gemini, like they didn't see the people pleasing, that one specifically, because people would always be like, boy, you just tell it like it is, huh? And then whenever I would like speak about shyness or fawning, even like not being able to say what I really thought in a moment because I was triggered, they'd be like, you always da da da. And I'm like, I never actually say what I'm thinking if it scares me. What are you talking about? Like, you don't see me at all. And also understanding all those parts of me really did help me heal. I mean, I understood why it was impossible to be seen. Like there's just so much work that, honestly, astrology changed my life. It was the beginning of so many beautiful things, because I lean into what my chart says, and it helps you overcome so much fear, because I'm like, well, I'm literally here to do this. So why not?
Yeah. I mean, it is a powerful tool. And that's why my whole goal of my mission is to teach about astrology and to write about it on a very basic level where anyone can understand it and make it more simplistic, and as a tool of a psychological tool of healing and validating your experiences, validating your needs, your strengths, your where you're meant to be. And so I'm really excited about this book, because
I'm excited too.
It's the biggest one. It's so thick. I've never wrote a book this thick.
Big. Yeah, I'm proud of you, Carmen.
When I did it, I told my husband, I'm not going to write a book again, because it was a lot.
That was a long time, I bet. Well, I will, whenever I do like a separate intro for the episode, I'll make sure I include every link, all of the things. And like I said, feel free. I'm happy to share this book. I am so into astrology. I pre-ordered it, everybody. And also, you are not charged at the time of pre-order either. You're charged on the day of release. So I'm telling audience members that. And I'm so excited for this. And I'm thank you for looking up my information and giving me more that I even, like, those are things I didn't know,
Yeah, absolutely. And I do consultations, and I do have classes and stuff. If people want to visit my website, it's just CarmenTurnerSchott.com. And then I got a Facebook page, Deep Soul Divers Astrology with Carmen Turner Schott. I'd love for you to follow me. I post everything there, updates, classes, astrological things, videos. And then Instagram is Carmen Turner Schott author. And you can follow. I'd love for you to follow me there. I post a lot there, and I have a YouTube channel that I have some, old videos, and I try to post there, and it's Carmen Turner Schott is my YouTube handle. So love for you to follow me. Visit my website. You can get a free gift if you go to my website. I have a pop-up to get a 12th house PDF and a 8th house PDF. Those are the spiritual houses. If you have planets in Scorpio, Pisces, or in the 12th or 8th, I have a nice little free gift about what that means and information.
I love it. Awesome. Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This was amazing. And I want to stay connected and, be friends and shit. So
yes, let's do it. We're Midwest girls. So
yes. Okay. Well, I hope you have a fabulous Friday.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, make sure you've given the show a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to if you haven't already. And check out my website, empoweredwithmelissahepner.org, or my link tree on Instagram at melissa.hepner to check out my latest offers or workshops.
Emotionally unavailable. Emotionally unavailable.
INDEPE and cut.